Start.
Yeah, I think we can start now. It's 5 minutes past time.
Yeah, I already started the live on YouTube, so people maybe are here.
Okay.
I will start the recording as well.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is the fourth edition of DeFi Africa and MakerDAO monthly virtual meetup series. And you are all welcome to today's event. Today, we have a special guest with us who will be our panel. And we'll be talking about how to capitalize on the value of decentralized finance. Yeah, I think this topic is very important, whether you are already in DeFi or you are yet to join the DeFi space. I think you will enjoy this topic, listening to our guests. They will shed light on uh, the importance of DeFi use cases and how you can capitalize on the benefits of DeFi. Um, I'll invite our guests to introduce themselves before we move to the main discussion. Let me start with Isa. Please quickly introduce yourself and explain your connection to the space, your role, and a quick explanation of what you do currently in DeFi.
Cool. Hi, everyone. I'm Isa, and I'm currently head of marketing at Aave. So Aave is a decentralized money market protocol for lending and borrowing on Ethereum, and we launched Aave protocol back in January. I've only been in the DeFi space since November. My background is in public policy, so that's kind of the lens I discovered blockchain technology through. And I live in Berlin, so there's like massive blockchain scene here. And that's kind of how I came across DeFi through going to meetups, and really, really wanted to work in the DeFi space because I think it's super cool and has a lot of applicabilities for like traditional finance, just for individuals, for everyone. So got involved and started working at Aave, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Nadia.
Yeah, well, thank you for inviting me. Well, I'm Nadia. I work as business development for Latin America for MakerDAO. My job is about telling everyone why DAI is relevant and increase DAI adoption in the region. It has been amazing because, well, Latin America and I guess Africa is the same. We really need solutions like stable coins and what DeFi is bringing to the financial industry. So for me, this job is amazing because I really think we are doing something and helping people. And I have been on the DeFi space before it was called DeFi. I have been working for Maker for more than 2 years. And well, what is Maker? Maker is a protocol, and inside the protocol we have a decentralized stablecoin on Ethereum. Or a stablecoin is like an algorithmic stablecoin backed by other tokens, different tokens, and the DAI, the stablecoin, is pegged to the dollar. And inside the Maker protocol, well, we have other different solutions as Oasis, where you can also save your DAI. We have our own DEX, where you can convert your DAI into other tokens. And well, the vaults, where you can lend DAI using tokens as collateral. And before crypto and DeFi and all of this, I worked for big corporations, technological corporations on the financial industry. That's my background, and I didn't like it. And I was always looking for better solutions than the traditional ones. And that's how I found Maker and crypto and blockchain, and yeah, that's why I'm here.
Wow, that's interesting. So let me come back to Isa. Why did you get into the DeFi space? And for how long have you been working in the DeFi space?
Yes. So really got into DeFi only, I guess, like 2019. I only started working for Aave in November. But I heard of ETH before, which was like the first peer-to-peer lending platform on Ethereum. And then they rebranded to Aave. So I really, I'd heard of ETH, really liked the project and wanted to continue working at Aave. So now today, Aave is a decentralized money market protocol where you can earn interest on your deposits and borrow different crypto assets. So it's open source and non-custodial. Any has code and so smart on blockchain. They interest on those deposits. So this is really zero than you would a traditional bank. You get like 4% by a lot of just putting traditional bank account or anything. Then on users can
I think he has some
problem with the connection.
So I thought this was very cool. I also
Yeah, well, I think she has a problem with connection.
Yeah, Isa, we can't hear you.
Okay, let me move to Nadia. Why did you get into the DeFi space? You didn't.
Well, I had some friends who were really into Ethereum, and one of them helped organize ETH Buenos Aires, the first hackathon sponsored by the Ethereum Foundation. And well, I before that I did some research about what Ethereum was. Well, I had some, like I knew Bitcoin and I knew the value it has, but was after this hackathon where I was able to see all the space and know a lot of projects that were being developing at that time, that I thought, wow, this is amazing. This was like almost 3 years ago. And I really thought it was something, as I said before, all of this happened before even DeFi exists. So it was very exciting because I think everyone there wanted to do something like great, but no one knew how great it was going to be. Neither we knew that we were building like these Lego blocks. So when I was there, what really catch my attention was that I live in Argentina. So I live in a country where our local currency sucks. We don't like it. And if you keep Argentinian pesos, you're losing money. So we are always looking for alternatives to the local currency. And also you can trust your system, because the system is the one that is giving you the currency, the local currency. So you have to look for options, and one of the options is crypto and stable coins. And when I knew about Maker, and I understood that it was possible to have a cryptocurrency where you don't have to trust on what a company says or a system says or a protocol says, that you can verify by yourself that the DAI that you have is backed by a collateral that has is like over collateralized, so it's super safe. I thought, wow, this is amazing. Like this is really what I have been expecting, and that's why I started working on Maker. And well, my job is to show this to people here in the region, because I think it will help us a lot in Latin America.
Wow, that's so interesting. I think many people got into cryptocurrency through that, and that is really very interesting. Isa, you are welcome back. I think you had a problem.
Sorry about that. I think my internet just completely shut down, but back now.
Okay. We are happy to have you again. So in your opinion, Isa, this question comes to you. In your own opinion, what are the actual use cases of decentralized finance? Are there specific use cases for specific sectors, or in general, what use cases do you think DeFi has?
Yes. So I guess on an individual level, the main use cases I would see are like lending, borrowing, just kind of giving yourself more freedom with what you can do with your money. I think for, I guess, more mainstream depositors or people just kind of entering the DeFi space, I guess the most common use case is just lending and earning interest, because you get much higher interest rates than you would in a traditional bank. So it's a very good way to earn a passive income, kind of build up your savings and have much higher returns than you would if you just put your money in any old bank. I also think it's a very good way to borrow, because everything is trustless. So you don't need any credit checks or like kind of background checks. And with that, you don't really have the same kind of discrimination that can come when you try to take out a loan in a traditional bank. I also think it gives unbanked populations access to banking services, similar to what Nadia was saying, especially with stable coins, and having these currencies that are pegged to the US dollar, or a currency that's a bit more stable. If you live in a country where your currency is very, very volatile, that's super important. And being able to use stable coins and have a currency that you can rely on a bit more is very cool. So those are kind of how I see the main use cases of DeFi and how I think it will grow.
Wow, that's very interesting. Providing banking to the unbanked population. You can deposit your money and interest in DeFi instead of going to the banking sector or traditional finance, which has discriminations. You can do that in DeFi, which is decentralized and very secure, transparent. That's very interesting. Please, Nadia, since you are based in LATAM, this question comes to you. Do you think it's too early to be judging the adoption or success of DeFi in emerging economies? Or do you think we should have seen more progress in emerging economies like Africa and LATAM?
Well, yeah, it's very interesting because these projects around DeFi, like the perfect user is someone in Latin America, and I guess someone in Africa could think the same, because we have very weak currencies in this region, and the financial services around these currencies are also weak. So it's hard for us to find like a currency that we can trust, and a good way to manage it, and to as Isa was saying, like to invest it and earning passive income if I want to. It's hard for us to find that in our country. So what DeFi is showing us is another option. Like it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter who you are, you can have access to it. And we are trying to teach people what DeFi is and how can they access, because I think it's the right solution, but I think people need to be educated around DeFi, around crypto, and also around finance, because one of the problems I am noting is people is not well educated. They don't, in Latin America. Now I'm talking about Latin America. They don't know how to save money. They just spend or ask for credits, but it's hard for them to save money. So it's important for us to do this education part, and also improve the solutions that we already have to gain more adoption. Because right now the solutions are like in the as I said, are like in an initial phase. And I'm completely sure that the UX and UI of those projects can evolve and can be more friendly to the users, to the new users who are not into crypto. And also when the gas prices are lower, I think we could definitely gain more adoption, or even if we can adopt like a layer 2 solution to reduce gas prices, I think DeFi is going to be like a bomb. It's going to be amazing here because it's the right solution. We just need to improve some aspects and educate people.
Wow. So that means will you say that the current adoption level in emerging economies is encouraging, or do you think that we should see more progress than what is currently happening in emerging economies?
I will say it is increasing because it's the right solution. But if we do these improvements, it will rise even more quickly, and the adoption will be faster because it's what we need here.
Wow, wow. Thanks very much. So let me come to Isa. Then this question is, what do you think is the biggest hindrance to people adopting cryptocurrencies or DeFi at the moment?
Yes, I think I would have to say education, for sure. I think a lot of people often get a bit freaked out when they see the word like cryptocurrency or blockchain, and that can be a huge deterrent from using DeFi services or anything, just because people are a bit scared. And it does involve like doing a lot of your own research because there is a risk involved in all of these things. So you definitely need to research a bit. I'm actually onboarding my dad to DeFi right now, which has been a very interesting experience. And I mean, it's a lot of just like reading things online. I think really educating yourself on stuff is quite challenging to do if you want to keep up. Historically, UI and UX have been issues, but I think this is really, really improved in the past few years. I mean, onboarding my dad, just getting him to use Argent Wallet, for example, was just like very, very smooth onboarding. It's very intuitive UX. And that makes the whole experience go a lot smoother. And it's, you know, oh, maybe it's not so scary or intimidating now. Like I can use DeFi, understand how it works. I can actually go in my Argent Wallet and use these things. So that's very helpful. And I think this is improving every day. Obviously, there's still a lot of room for more improvement, and we need to make these things even better in the future. But I think mainstream adoption will have to come pretty gradually. DeFi is definitely getting much easier to learn about and interact with. And also younger generations on the come up, like Gen Z, are very like technologically literate. And I think like younger demographics, millennial, Gen Z, really look at opportunities to maximize their passive income, especially because the current economic climate is like very, very harsh for particularly for young people. So they're definitely starting to explore more opportunities like this. And I think more and more people are becoming crypto natives, or at least kind of dabbling in holding crypto and seeing what they can do with it. But that educational barrier is still there, and I think that will be there for a while.
Yeah, that's right. I see many people are still skeptical about DeFi or even cryptocurrencies in general because of the lack of knowledge about it. Yeah, that's really true.
Yeah.
Nadia, do you want to touch on it?
Yeah, I agree with Isa on what she said. Like, I think we are doing improvements like what she's saying, like Argent, Dharma, all those wallets that are thinking DeFi as a product and they are thinking on users. Also, we at Maker are starting to think more in different kind of users, not just like crypto native or people who really are like a crypto enthusiast, but also thinking on people who need crypto, like for example, emerging markets. We are not into crypto because we want to be like on the highest point of the technological innovation. We are into crypto because it's a solution for our needs. So it's important that the DeFi projects start to think about more on those users. I think that will be great because that will reduce, I mean, I totally agree with Isa that we need to educate, but if we can find like the right product, one that is like with an excellent UX and UI or efforts around education can be less, because if the product is easy and smooth to use, it will be much better to gain adoption.
Wow, that's right. That's right. Let me ask this question. So now let's talk about stakeholders. We talk about the challenges, and we mentioned education, or let's say education is inadequate at the moment. But what actually will motivate stakeholders to participate well in DeFi, your own experience?
Well, yeah, on our side, like in thinking about Latin America and emerging markets in general, I think if you compare what you can get on the DeFi space versus what the traditional financial solutions can offer you, like you can have a thousand of reasons to start using DeFi, because, well, you have stable coins that are decentralized and transparent, like DAI, and that is completely much better if you compare it to local currencies in Latin America, Argentinian peso, Venezuelan bolivar, currencies that are completely devaluated. And if you save in those currencies, you are losing money day by day. So this is like a much better solution talking about currencies. And then if you talk about the protocols on DeFi, well, you can have high yields, like incredible returns on your savings. You can find different options to invest your money. You have an open market without borders that is available 24/7. And we can't say that about the traditional financial market. So I'm seeing a lot of advantages and opportunities in the DeFi space that everyone wants to have. So when you start talking about these high yields and these open market opportunities, that's enough for for people to want to start knowing more about DeFi.
Yeah, that's right. Let me come back to Isa, and this time you'll be telling us about Aave. And the question is, how will you define your competitors? Are you being cooperating somehow?
Yes. So I guess, I mean, everyone kind of in this like DeFi lending and borrowing space could be seen as a competitor. But I know we really welcome the competition, because that's what sparks all this innovation. And that's what really makes these things change so rapidly, and new products are constantly being built. I think it was like Aave and Maker, both projects have their own unique use cases and offerings. However, I can say that I think at Aave we've really benefited, and we're very lucky to have like seen Maker kind of go first and watch what they're doing. Like same with Compound. It was very helpful, I think, to see what other DeFi lending borrowing protocols are doing, what they're doing well, how we think we could improve on things or do our own spin on things. And I think it's very cool, but I think that's what makes the space so dynamic and why it has so many offerings already. And it's only been alive for a few years.
Yeah, okay. Okay, the same question will go to Nadia. How can you define your competitors with the project you are working on currently?
Well, our competitors are different options for people, and I think that's great, because well, if we are going to talk about the stablecoin space, you can find different options, and that's interesting because people can choose whatever they want. Actually, well, as you know, one of our collaterals, if the community wants to, it could be competitors of us, or like what you perceive as competitors. But I think what's very interesting is that competition brings options to people. And that's the cool thing about DeFi and blockchain, that we are like evolving very fast, and we are offering different options to people. And I guess because of this idea of building blocks, and create new projects with that blocks. Competitors that are perceived as competitors now could be partners in a week, because everyone is like just creating and offering new services, and we as the community are using them and testing that out and trying to evolve. And I think that's pretty cool.
Wow, very good. Thanks for that. Isa, can you tell us the best use case for DeFi that you know?
Oh, this is very challenging because there's so many. But I think one thing that is quite cool, this is maybe biased because something that Aave is working on, but is allowing native credit delegation. So basically where like party A can deposit into Aave and then delegate their credit line to party B, who can then borrow against it without needing to put up any collateral of their own. So this is very useful because if you need a loan, you don't necessarily need to put up a whole bunch of collateral in another asset. You don't really need this capital to take out a loan. And this is all negotiated through a legal agreement using open law. So I think that's kind of cool because it's a really good intersection between DeFi and law, legal space. So these under collateralized loans can make DeFi a source of liquidity for all of finance. So for example, a depositor could be a DeFi fund looking for credit exposure, and a borrower could be a business, institution, government, anyone. It doesn't even have to be something within the DeFi space. And I think this is really exciting because it opens DeFi up to the outside world. DeFi becomes more interoperable with all finance. It's not really DeFi is going to eat old finance anymore. It's more how can they work together and form these interoperabilities and these kind of bridges where maybe businesses or traditional financial institutions can actually use DeFi as a way to source liquidity. So this is very cool and exciting for me to see. The first credit delegation actually happened last week to Diversify. So it's still very new in the DeFi space, but I think it could be very cool to see how DeFi grows and an interesting approach to taking DeFi mainstream, and that instead of just thinking about like individual lenders and borrowers like earning interest on your deposits and borrowing assets, it's now how can businesses and institutions and the broader financial world play with DeFi.
Wow, that's really interesting. And Nadia, can you also tell us the best use case you know in DeFi?
Well, right now I'm in love of governance and how different projects are evolving into become a DAO, creating their own tokens and incentivizing their community to improve the protocol or the own project, like increasing liquidity or things like that. Like governance in general, I think is amazing because it's like breaking a paradigm that exists in the traditional world where just like a small table take decisions for the products and services that a lot of people are using. Like in the DAO, and the governance allows the users to take that kind of decisions, and that's great because the users are the ones who knows what is best for them. So I found that very interesting, and I love this governance and how it is evolving. Like we at Maker, well, for us, every decision is taken by the community, and all the open conversations that we have, the transparency that we manage, and how it's important to share all the information between the community, the foundation, the protocol. That I think that's amazing because you can see that in the traditional world. So I found the governance like one of the most amazing things that the DeFi space is showing to the world. And well, that is like for me amazing. And for a more like simpler use case is all the lending protocols like Aave or like the DAI saving trade at its basic state, because it's like the opportunity to have an unstable coin and protect yourself from the devaluation. I'm just talking about the regular user, who can have access to dollars, because as an example, in Venezuela and Argentina, there are capital controls, restrictions, and you can have like free access to other currencies than your local one. So with stable coins, you can have access to dollar, for example, if you buy DAI, and also you can invest or just save that DAI and earn a passive income. And I think that's like very simple, but that is a solution for a lot of people around the world, and I love it.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and you are right on that. By participating in DeFi, you have absolute democracy or absolute decentralization. You can make decisions with the governance system being decentralized for everybody, so every user has an opportunity. That's really interesting, and I like that use case. Also, cross-border transaction, you have no restriction, as you said. So if you are in Ghana, as I am now, I want to transact with someone in Argentina, I don't need to go to the bank or where I'll be asked or restricted to do any transaction. That is really interesting. And thank you very much for that. Now we are moving to the last part of today's discussion. And then this one, I'll start with Isa. You will tell us how will you advise someone who's yet to join the DeFi space? Because we know that there are still people who are skeptical about decentralized finance or even cryptocurrency in general. And there are people who are interested, but still they don't know how to join. So I want to ask you this question. How will you advise someone who's yet to join the space?
Yes, so I'd have to say just kind of put yourself out there and start talking to people. I think that's one really good thing about, I guess you can't really like go to meetups physically or anything, but there's still all these like events like this happening online where you can go and learn about decentralized finance. There's all sorts of forums and discussions. So really just start talking to people and join in the conversation. I mean, I'm still like relatively new to the DeFi space. I've only been in DeFi for a year. So I think it's really just about kind of like putting yourself out there, talking to as many people as you can, exploring different use cases for it. And then also doing your own research, because yes, of course, like these things, there can always be a bit of a risk. And like comparing maybe which, if you want to deposit and earn interest, definitely like comparing which protocol you can earn the most with, that kind of thing. But definitely do your own research, kind of play around. I encourage people to play around with some of these things too. Obviously, like be smart about it, and definitely like make sure you're not going to do anything super risky. But yeah, I'd say just play around with it. Don't be afraid to experiment, and talk to people. Really just get to know people in the DeFi space, what kind of projects they're working on, what they're doing, and what interests you the most about it. If it's like lending or borrowing, then maybe explore like some lending and borrowing decentralized finance protocols and see what you like about some, what you don't like. And yeah, I think the good thing about DeFi is that the community is very open and everyone is very interested in talking to you. So it's a really good conversation to be part of, and very happy to be part of the DeFi family.
Wow. So I like this part. Do your own research. That is very, very interesting. So let's say you want to you want to participate in Aave, you want to deposit money and be any interest on your deposit. You don't just need to hear someone say this and this, then you put yourself into it. You can do your own research. There are a lot of resources. You can go to Aave website. You will read a lot. Do your own research. Ask people. Go to YouTube. Watch videos. And that is really very interesting. I like that part. And let me move to Nadia.
Yeah,
How will you
well,
advise?
yeah, we in Latin America, we are creating a lot of content, not just we at the foundation, but our community, and that has been amazing. Our community is creating content in Spanish and in Portuguese, because a lot of the content about DeFi is in English, and we don't want that to be a barrier. We want like to help people. If you want to learn about DeFi, okay, you can start from this point, and we are creating content with the help of our community in Spanish and Portuguese about how to start with with DAI, where you can buy DAI with your local currency. After you have DAI, what kind of wallets can you use? What is a wallet? Why is relevant? What is DeFi? How to start in DeFi? And we have these like guides for beginners. So every time we someone wants to know more about DeFi, or they want to know how to start with that, we just point them to the guides, and it's a good starting point. Because yeah, you need to study, and you need to educate yourself about how to do it. And we are like it's an effort from our side and the community to create more content, like videos explaining how to do it. And we have like a very active Telegram group, also in Spanish and Portuguese, where everyone can join us and ask questions. It doesn't matter, like it's like a very basic question or a very advanced question, because we have a lot of people that is helping us from the community to help others to involve into the DeFi space.
Wow, that's good. I think we have to also start something like that in Africa. There are people who are not that much in English, because actually even in our events, we normally do that in English. But yeah, I think this particular initiative is very good. People should have the opportunity to read about decentralized finance in their own dialect. Yeah, that is interesting. Thank you very much for that. We don't have more questions to ask, so we are going to close here. And I must say that this discussion is very good for everybody. And those that join, I hope that you enjoy it. You enjoy today's event. Thank you very much, Isa and Nadia, for giving us this opportunity to host you on our platform. We are very grateful for that. And to everybody who's able to join, thank you very much. We hope to see you next time. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.